Hey 99ers, Pixel Pedant here as always to tell you what I've been playing lately and why you should probably play it too. If you haven't already, that is. And what I've been playing lately is Bouncy's Obstacle Course, probably my favorite arcade action game of the last 5 years for TI-99. And you're about to see why I'm such a big fan of it. Or you're about to hear me tell you why I think it's so great anyway. But why not both? Let's do both of those things. So, why does the TI-99 world need Bouncy's obstacle course at just such a time as this? Well, I can only speak for myself, but I'd played Legends and Legends 2 recently and done a lot of poking through their code to figure out what makes them tick, and playing and recording those two took a lot of time and energy. Partly because I wanted to do right by them, but also just because they're long and complex games inherently. So I figured it was time to take a break and move on from weird, arduous, and complicated to simple, fun, and elegant, which is what I consider Bouncy's obstacle course and its design to be. But what it is more specifically is an auto-scrolling platformer from modern TI-99 master Rasmus Moustgaard. Rasmus has developed a whole pile of great TI-99 titles in the past decade, and several of those really do take the system beyond anything we saw the TI-99 do in its heyday. And I think Bouncy's obstacle course is one of the best. Absolutely worth the $0 price of entry. The game's impressive right from the title screen, with its great title music. And I do like my TI-99 title music. My TI-99 Title Tunes compilation was one of the first videos I ever did on this channel. But this is one game that keeps on impressing the whole way through, far beyond the title screen, since the game has a soundtrack that plays uninterrupted during gameplay. Not a luxury we got a whole lot on the TI-99. And when someone did try it, the effect wasn't always ideal. Oh, burger time. Once the gameplay starts, what's most impressive to me about the game is how much it manages to do at once. Smooth scrolling, parallax scrolling, speech synthesis, a persistent soundtrack, and in-game sound effects. This really is the whole package. If you saw the game knowing nothing about the TI-99, you'd probably come away thinking the TI-99 is a system with hardware support for multicolor sprites, smooth scrolling, and FM audio. But for all the complicated things it's doing, the design is really straightforward from the player's standpoint, which is what brings me to it today. You control Bouncy while he moves along and jumps across platforms, trying to avoid hazards and get to the finish line. You collect stars along the way to run up your score, and collect 1-ups to keep yourself alive. Just getting through a level is usually pretty easy, if that's all you're trying to do. But the stars and the 1-ups complicate things a bit, since they're placed in a way that challenges you to take chances, to get to tricky locations or make tough jumps. So the game wants you to live a little dangerously, or it wants to tempt you anyway, since if you do, you've got a better chance of hitting that new high score. This is one of those games that really shows off the TI-99 palette nicely. 2 yellows, 2 greens, 2 reds, and 2 blues are used together for a shading effect in all the game's environment graphics. And the magenta and cyan for the player and enemy sprites stands out really nicely against that. But that subtle two-tone effect on everything is really nice, and even subtler on a CRT. There are a couple types of tile that have special effects, which you can either avoid or make use of, depending on what the level calls for and what you want to try. There are green tiles that slow down the action and sometimes let you get somewhere you wouldn't be able to get at normal speed. But there are also blue orbs that speed you up to sonic speed. And after the game's already impressed you with its smooth scrolling, that super fast scrolling is definitely the cherry on top. Later on in the game, we find out Bouncy's obstacle course has even more scrolling goodness to show off. Since there, we run into vertical scrolling segments, and in these you need to keep up with the auto-scroll by jumping upward from platform to platform quick enough. So, that different style of play is a nice change of pace and keeps things fresh. There are 10 levels in all, and after all those, Bouncy gets a victory screen for his trouble. Bouncy's completed the course, but the game is not over yet. Because at this point, you get the chance to go back through the levels you've just played all over again, but this time with more mobs, to make things even more complicated. Mobs being the enemy beach ball things that show up to get in your way. The TI-99 didn't really see anything on this game's level in the 80s. But as far as classic TI-99 titles we did see, I'd say it feels most like Moon Patrol for me. And I do like Moon Patrol. In Moon Patrol, if you manage to play through all the sections, you start them over again on a tougher version of the course. I liked that in Moon Patrol, and I like it here even more. But the second run through is definitely nightmare mode. Anyway, I've shown you a whole bunch of gameplay already, but if you'd like to see what the game looks like played in one go, I'll show you the first 10 levels of the main course, and the first couple levels of the tougher versions that come after that, so keep on watching if you're interested in that. Thanks for watching, folks.
3, 2, 1, go. Good work. Good move. Please, hurry up. Good move. Back again. Please, hurry up. Good move. Back again. Good work. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Good work. Good move. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Good move. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Please, try again.